Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage.
Everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video. Listen, man, Chevelle Super Sport, Chevelle SS396, Coupe, and then throw in convertible, and you have one awesome muscle car. Let me tell you, these were expensive cars for the time, especially with nice equipment like this car has as well, and there's not a lot of those cars left. And for me, the Cortez silver, because it's got deep metallic color to it, and the black stripe, the black interior, is one of the best color combinations ever made. Anyway, so what I want you to do is take a minute, walk around this car. Let's look at all of the things that have been done to it to restore it. The underneath is spectacular. I encourage you to look underneath this car because it looks wonderful, wonderful. So I was going to run down this list for you real quick and go through that. But what I wanted to start with first, if I could, is I'd like to show the quality of the paint here. And because we're back here in this different showroom, it's a little hard to see. But what I'd like you to be able to see is all the words that are there. See how it's the Chevelle's nice and clear, convertible's nice and clear, and you can see those kinds of things in the paint, and that makes a really nice shiny paint. Not to mention that Cortez silver is a great color to begin with, and it shows a lot of reflection. Okay, so new bumpers, correct SS grille with this call out right here, so people knew it was SS396. All right, these cars here are becoming very collectible because there's the last year kind of this body style before 70, and they changed, you know, kind of got a lot more square and things like that. Great hood. The hood is awesome on these cars. It's muscle, man. That's what you're buying, a muscle car. So you're looking for these bumps like this right here. Okay, well, maybe those are a little bigger than what I got, but you know what I'm saying. Muscle, car. Oh, this is way bigger. Anyway, let's keep rolling. All right, so that right there, the SS stripe on the side. Okay, you got the correct SS magnums in here. All right, important feature inside here is power disc brakes. Okay, a lot of times we forget to ask about those things. This car here has power disc brakes. I like to put the BFGs on every car because they just look so good. They're such a great muscle car tire. All right, and what I also wanted you to do was look down the body of this car. I wanted you to see the effort that's been put in to make the car so straight. The long panels, they're not wavy, they don't have dings, they're not shrunk, they're not falling apart, they're not full of mud and Bondo. And those are important things, and for instance like this, okay? The door. That right there, it probably took a day to do properly. If you're gonna get a car, you get a car right. So for instance, like these cars right here, convertibles, over 30 or 40 years can start to sag. And what happens is, they sag like this. You put them on the lift, and you can't open and close the doors anymore. You know why? Because the car's sagging on the lift, it's not sitting at the ends of itself. But this is what I want you to hear. It opens and closes the way it's supposed to, and this is why this car drives as nice as it does, and it does drive wonderful. All right, let's keep rolling around. All right, so let's just say you decided to race this car against somebody, and you decided to beat them, which is probably going to happen because when you hear this, this is not your stock 396 car, but it's the best of both worlds. It looks just like a 396 car. It is a 396 car, but just has a little more juice underneath it. So this is what that person is probably going to see as you go past him. And he's going to see that. It's, wow, that's what I just got beat by. Oops. Okay. All right. And again, we're back to this side here. This is the side that you're going to walk up to every day. And actually, I left this in the sun a little bit because I wanted you to see in the sunlight how beautiful this paint is. It is so bright and shiny. It just looks wonderful. Okay. How about we find out about the rumble? Okay, let's take a peek under the hood. Okay, so we're just finishing the restoration. If you see something that stands out that you don't really like, we can certainly address that, but I think that we've done a pretty good job and we're on the tail end of getting the last little bits. So for instance, we do have our correct 396 set up in here. We have GM hoses, tower clamps, okay? Shrouds and what have you. Now this is a little more high performance. This probably makes closer to 450 horsepower than maybe 350 horsepower. And what there is a couple of hidden things, and I can do this for you if you like, or I'll just leave it the way it is. This has an aluminum radiator, and the reason it has an aluminum radiator is the owner of this car, when we built it, wanted to have cooling capacity that's important to him. Meaning he could go to a show, sit in beach traffic, do whatever, and the car would stay nice and cool, all right? It also has a transmission cooler here as well, all right? But if you wanted to, we could paint this black, so no one would really know that it's an aluminum radiator if you went to a car show. Okay, if it doesn't bother you, you don't care, or you like the way it looks, which I think it looks great anyway, awesome. Dual horns like it's supposed to have, washer bottle, power disc brakes, power steering, which we forget to ask about, okay? We talked about the tower clamps, so you say, well, why do you keep talking about the tower clamps? Well, the tower clamps are that little extra bit that you spend on a car that looks really nice when you open the hood and you're looking at the video going, wow, that looks really good. All right, so we have the breather on the way. We're missing that. I just wanted to put one in here for right now that I had. We have the correct breather that goes in there and the correct radiator cap. All right, so those will be on before you get it, as well as we'll repaint the master cylinder there because it was a brand new unit and they don't really come painted, and unfortunately they rust very quickly, so that's why we repaint them. Okay? Other than that, I think it looks spectacular under here. Got the nice call outs on the air filter, and this car really, really goes. All right, so let's go spend some time where you're going to spend a little time, and that's right here in the cockpit. All right? That's the way I like it. Cockpit. How you doing, cockpit? Okay, all right, so a couple nice things, right? Tilt steering wheel, nice gauges on the dash, original AM, FM style stereo, okay? Seating for 5 real people, not an infant and you. You know, there's room in the back here. Look at all this room back here where people can sit. It's cool. I was driving around with the top down and I picked up 2 leaves. But anyway, all this room. Now this has some speakers that have been added to the stereo. This has a digital sound. It doesn't have a digital sound system. What I was going to say is we can add a digital sound system, which we do for a lot of people, and we hide them in the glove box. So it leaves the dash all stock looking, and then you have some great sounding stereo as well. And if you want to, we can get rid of those and put 6x9s in the side, and then you don't have those on the seat there. So a couple small things, but little stuff like real GM seat belts, you know, clipped in the way they're supposed to. A console, the horseshoe shifter, the correct SS wheel, new dash pad, visors, carpet, correct rubber mats that you would have got in a real Super Sport back in the day. This is the way it would have been, and this car just sounds so great. And what's so cool about it is it looks so stock until you step on the gas. Because when you step on the gas, this thing is a beast. It just rolls down the road, and that's what made them go great. You know, they were nice and powerful stock, but they get modified for not a lot of money, and they really go really well. It's the kind of thing that you can't get in a new car. It's a sound and a feel. So how about I start it for you so you can hear what it sounds like. All right, so let's check out the trunk. Okay, again, back to the little bit of detail stuff we talked about with the tower clamps on the hood and the right air cleaner and those kinds of things, like the jacking instructions, posi-traction pieces here, the correct trunk mat and spare tire. It's got a jack in it and those kinds of things. You say, well, Tone, what's the big deal about having a spare tire? Well, none of these cars ever come with spare tires, and a piece all this together can be a few $100 by the time you're all done. So, and this looks really nice. Somebody spent the time to kind of wet sand and make it look great inside too. So. It's just a really, really nice looking car. And I like this too. This is what I like the most. That sound. All right, come on, let me show you a little feature on this car here called the F41 suspension. All right, so if you look under here, you'll see the bar hanging down below the rear end. And that's the rear sway bar, part of the F41 suspension. The rear end's painted and detailed. The gas tank is clear coated. The exhaust system is aluminized. It's got the correct SS tips on it. So if you want to go to a car show, you can take it to a car show. You won't be embarrassed. And on top of it, just sounds great. You pull up and people are going to want to see what you have. And to have this kind of thing ready to go, that's what a restored car gets you. Okay? Don't forget too, power convertible top. All nice things to have. I want to get out of the way of this car and close the studio up so you can look at it. I want to tell you, look at the lines of it. We're talking about a 396 Super Sport Chevelle convertible, 69 model. It is a mouthful, but it's a mouthful of great muscle car stuff. You got the big 396 probably making well over 400 horsepower, turbo 400, 12-bolt rear, the upgraded F41 suspension. It rides and drives beautifully. You will, it is so much fun. Listen, man, this is the kind of car where you call whoever it is on a Friday, you're at work, say, listen, honey, I'm on the way home. I'll be there in a little bit. Shut your phone off, no more text, no more boss calling you, no more Twitter, no more Pinterest, no more nothing. Put this thing in drive and roll on down the road. Just like therapy. Anyway, if you can find a way to get this cool 396 Chevelle in your life, call us 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about it.